So today I want to talk to you a little about the difference between preference testing and A/B testing. In a preference test, you ask the user, which of these do you prefer? I would ask someone, a potential user, which of these dressings do you prefer? And they would tell me that they either prefer the house Italian or they prefer the blue cheese. But in an A/B test, you're actually running an experiment. So for instance, I would take my two salad dressings and instead of asking a potential user anything about them, I would put one in the fridge for a week. And I'd hide behind some doors somewhere and I'd count how often anyone in my house actually uses it. And then I'd take it out and I'd put the other one in the fridge for a week. And again, count how often it's getting used. I'm actually observing what people do with the two things about which I'm curious about their preferences. I don't ask them specifically or directly about their preferences, I just watch their actions. With preference testing, we're asking users to tell us what they think their preferences are. And that might actually be different than what their preferences actually are, for which A/B testing is better able to indicate. In terms of website design, I'm not interested in salad dressing. Usually a preference test or an A/B test comes up in a couple of different instances. You might be interested in how people are responding to different potential titles you might put on pages or posts, or you might be interested in testing out if there's a certain kind of interface or homepage design that the user prefers. In our class, we're going to use preference testing as a way to figure out how we should title the different reflections we're writing for this semester. But it's worth noting that there would be an A/B equivalent that you could use if you wanted to. In the 300 version of my class, we'll also be using preference testing, but there we will use them to test out the language for our hero messages and our call to action buttons. You can set up preference tests very easily using any survey tool like Google Forms, Qualtrics, or SurveyMonkey. But with A/B testing, you're trying to run an experiment. So that's a little bit trickier, especially if you're trying to make it happen on your website that's already live. My recommendation is that if you're ever interested in doing an A/B test, you should find the right WordPress plugin to help you do it. For example, the one on screen here is called Melio A/B Testing. And I'm just going to scroll down. I'm not actually going to install it on my own website right now, but I want to show you what happens. So here's a screenshot that gives you a sense of what this looks like behind the scenes in WordPress. Let's say you're trying to test two different titles for a page on your site. What you can do is insert those into the system and it'll track over time what happens in terms of what are called conversion rates. The system will present one of the titles to a user who happens to come to your site, and the system is looking to see whether the title converts, whether the title causes somebody to actually click on the title and go and read the text that's behind it. So conversion rates, you can actually see in the bar graph below. And in this case, it looks like variant B, the second title, is doing a lot better. It's converting more than variant A. And you can actually see those conversion rates over time. This particular plugin is doing the equivalent of putting one of the salad dressings in the refrigerator for a week and then putting the other one in and watching what happens each time. Only it's doing it on a website, and in this case, it's doing it with the two different titles, A and B, for your pages.